Welcome back to the podcast. This time out, my guest is Garry, frontman of Local Authority, a three-piece band consisting of Garry, Jessica and Stevie. They're only a couple of years old and they're already making big waves in the live scene. Supported Libertines a few months back at the Oran Moor. They also are due to play Justine's in Margate, Carl Barat's club. And they've got a new EP out on the 31st of May. So we're going to be speaking about all this, plus a whole lot more. Garry had played a gig the night before, so he had a bit of a hangover. But even with the fear hanging over him, he was still a fantastic guest. Hope you all enjoy the podcast. Please keep liking, sharing, commenting, telling your friends about it. But more importantly, enjoy.
If you stay.
On the podcast this time out, I have Carl Barat, frontman of Local Authority, a three-piece band from, where are you, in Ayr?
I'm for Ayr, Jess is for Paisley and Stevie's for the back ass and anywhere, Maybole.
Right.
We're just based in Glasgow because that's where we do our gigs and stuff, so there's not really a music down this way.
Cool. So what we're going to do, we're going to touch on the band's relatively short career so far, but before that we're going to go back to the start, where you grew up, what was life like for you growing up and how that took you into music.
It was after hearing the second Oasis album, Morning Glory. My pal gave me that, and then since then I just never turned back, man. Picked up a guitar, learned a couple of the wee easy chords off my pals, and then just sat in and learned every day till my fingers bled. Threw a couple of guitars off the wall and shit. Get there in the end.
And what was it always music then you wanted to do? Was there nothing else, no other career paths?
Nah, I done painting and decorating for a wee while, but wasn't for me. It's always music. It's what always in my head all the time. The words were about everywhere, so they're not there for no reason, so they have to get jotted down.
Cool. What about previous bands? What was there before, obviously, this incarnation of the band? What was there prior to that?
I was playing solo. I've mostly just played solo. I played in a couple of bands, but mostly solo. And Jess she's played in a ska background with Esperanza. You know them?
Yeah, I've heard of them, yeah.
She played with them for a good 10, 11 years. And Stevie, this is the first band Stevie's been in. So we through lockdown, me and Stevie got together and we were fucking about with songs in the studio. And so am I allowed to swear?
Aye, batter in.
So we were pissing about with songs in the studio, and then we put an advert online during lockdown, and Jess got back to us, and it just took off from there.
It does seem to be, obviously, I've done about 80 odd episodes of this podcast now, and lockdown and COVID come up so much.
Aye.
It has been quite a helpful time for some bands, as well as being a bollock with missing gigs and stuff like that. But for new bands starting out and being able to take the time to kind of hone their craft, I think it was a godsend, probably.
It's definitely helped us because it gave us a team, especially being a three-piece. In the studio we were in, we were still able to go in because we were still able to social distance. So that was or else you couldn't go in. So personally, I don't believe in it all. I think it was a farce, but that's just opinion.
So, what was your first gig then as Local Authority? How did that come about?
I can't even. Oh, was it Nice and Sleazy's?
Right.
Nice.
It's a good start, a good venue to start off with.
We've played nearly every venue in Glasgow. We're starting to rattle through them in Edinburgh. We've got Stramash, and I've got gigs written here. It's terrible for remembering things. Just look at this is sitting here now. So I'm totally unprepared, mate. As I said, I just woke up, man. My fucking head's banging. But
that's the rock and roll lifestyle. Woke up with a hangover after smashing out a gig last night.
I know, mate. I know. It's brutal, man. So we were played on BBC Radio 6 last week. So we were working with Danny Deaf Disco.
Danny Watson, that is, isn't it?
Aye, Danny Watson, aye. And he's done a good job of promoting my song All Grown Up, because we've got a new EP coming out on the 31st of May. Is it the 31st of May? Aye, before the 1st of June. So that's the Friday.
Aye, I think so, aye.
It's the Friday anyway. So instead of doing it with the EP, we thought we would take a run with one of our more popular songs to see how it done radio-wise. And it done really well, man. So we're getting like on top tens and stuff like that. And I said BBC Radio 6, so you can't grumble at that. He's done a great job.
Danny's a good guy to have around as well. He'll kind of help propel you, I'd imagine. I had one of his boys, Sam Sherdale for Sheffield. I had him on the podcast no long ago. So he surrounds himself with the right sort of musicians.
Aye, definitely. And he was saying his club's been named after and referred to in the Libertines song. The Deaf Disco. It was him. That was his disco, wasn't it? That was his place.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was quite close with McGee for a while. I don't know what the relationship's like now, but he's kind of he's been quoted in the kind of circles that I used to frequent. So I kind of know of him quite well.
He's a good guy to have, man, and he's brand new as well, which makes a big difference. So he's just honest.
So in this kind of short space of time, you've been gone a couple of years, really.
So 2 years round about now, exactly 2 years.
And you've already got an album out. So how did that come about? Was that, I take it was all self-financed?
No, we were signed to Gecko Records, which was an independent label. They're not running now. For Barry Wallace, he was running that. And he got us in, recorded the album, and then things just didn't work out, man. It wasn't. Just that we wanted different things, so that's where that album came from. But we're new second EP. We'll second release this EP as self-funded, and we're just going to promote the shit out of it.
Well, you've been doing well. Like looking at your Instagram, the promotion that you've been doing on Instagram is it's really good. And how integral do you think kind of social media is to a band like yourself?
I think it's very important for any band now, because that's where everybody is. They've always got that. As much as I don't like it, everybody, even at a gig, everybody's got their face on a phone. So it's where it's happening now. So. But the downfall with that is there's so many people to compete with.
Yeah. You see a lot of bands now talking about kind of the pressures of social media. Obviously, like recently the Snuts left their record label and started up their own. And that was all down to social media, really. So it does seem to be a big fucking bollock. I kind of struggle with the podcast, promoting the podcast, so I can only imagine how hard it is for you.
My face is never at my phone. I'm just emailing and annoying people. It's all you can do. You just never give in and just keep on pestering, and they'll get fed up and hopefully give you what you want. But that's the only way to do it, man.
So after seeing you, I seen you live at Harley's in Rutherglen a few weeks back. First time I'd seen you, I hadn't heard your music before. So after listening to your music on Spotify, what I kind of got for it is the sound of your music recorded sounds kind of quite 60s based, but then live it's kind of, I don't know if it's maybe with the bass player Jess, but it comes across more ska.
It's kind of, it changes all the time. I mean, we've got different songs that you could put into completely different genres, because Stevie's into heavy metal, Jess is into like ska music, but she likes like goth music. Yeah, she'll kill me for that. I can't remember her favourite band, what they're called. And then I'm into like the Stone Roses and the Laz and all stuff like that. So there's a good mix there for it to. I mean, I write the songs, so I take them in, and then they'll do their music bits round about it. So it all fits together nice, man.
And if I'm led to believe, according to Kerr for the High Flats, he was telling me that he supported the Libertines at the Oranmore.
We supported solo in September at the Rocking Chair in Wales, and then we supported the Libertines at the Oranmore in February, just past there. But that was good. That was a dream.
Is the Libertines, are they a big part of your kind of musical heritage? Are you big into them? Obviously, you mentioned Danny.
I love Libertines, but I like Baby Shambles as well. So the both of them are fucking brilliant. So
you're coming from the same viewpoint as me. I've loved them for the start. I've got a tattoo in my arm. But so how was it? How did that come about then? How did obviously the solo gig come about, and then how did you get the next one?
Right, well, we were working with Simon Spence, the author. He done autobiography, and he's friends with Jai and the rest of the team. And Jesse's husband plays in a band called Crown Court, so they knew Simon. So we were able to get the album to him through that avenue, and he sent it to Jai and that, and said that it was a new Lee Mavers album, and they believed it for him. So it came about that way, man. And then after a week, he's like, "That's no Lee Mavers, by the way. That's another band. That's Local Authority." So they had to re-listen to it again and stuff like that, and it came about that way.
Right.
So broke our luck, really.
And then obviously getting the Oranmore support as well. Like, how was that? That was, I was meant to be at that gig, and I had to go down south, so I couldn't get to it. So
the solo gig was bloody nerve-wracking because, as you know, we're a three-piece band, and we're not an acoustic band whatsoever, and play acoustic that night. So we only had like 3 days to practice our songs on acoustic, and then jump up and support Pete. But it was good. After the first song was out the way, they actually sounded good, man. So Stevie was just in the shuffle drums, see with his snare and a cymbal. I was on the bass and I was on an acoustic, so it was a bit different, but it turned out well. I must have said the Libertines support.
So obviously Libertines are playing. They're back in Glasgow in October. Would there be any chance, do you reckon, of getting back on that bill?
Hope so. If you're watching, Jai, if you see this, get us on, mate. I'm well and ready.
That'd be ideal, man. I mean, a big gig at the Barrowlands, and I think they're doing 2 nights now as well. So if you could get one, be 3 nights.
Aye. Well, I'm not gonna try. So, Jai, I'll be annoying you soon, mate.
That's brilliant. I've got down here about the Radio 6 actually, but you've already mentioned that the radio play for all grown ups, about how much that's helped you. So we don't need to talk about that. And most of the stuff I've covered, obviously looking at your gigs and all that, as you say, you've played most of the places there, Glasgow, and Edinburgh now, and also down south, you played Sheffield a couple of times down that way, Carlisle, Gateshead. So is there any plans to maybe go further south?
Aye, we're going back. We're playing at Carl Barat's club on the 7th of June.
We're in Margate, Justine says that.
Aye.
Oh, that'll be magic.
That'll be good. So we've got Down the Water Revival this year again, Punk in the Peninsula. There's gigs there. We've got HMV for the EP launch on the 1st of June in Ayr. So we've got Room 2 on the 6th of July, which hopefully we're playing with the High Flats.
Yeah, the boys were saying about that. We were just waiting for confirmation.
Aye. So we're definitely going to get them along. We don't know if it's going to be at Room 2 or whether it's going to be at Audio. Depends if we need to hire the place or not. So, but we're definitely going for that date and having the boys along because we enjoyed their set. So.
Yeah, touching on that then, actually, Generation Sounds, these nights that they've been doing in Harley's, how important do you think it is to have these nights, kind of showcasing the new talent that's
I think
running
it's
about.
very important. Of course, anybody that's willing to give the new bands a space to show what they've got, then aye, they get respect from me because. But it's the ticket stuff I can't be doing, mate. I mean, you're busting your ass to sell tickets and you're making pennies for it. I know it has to be done, but it's still bollocks at the end of the day, isn't it?
It's hard going. Everything's a slog in it. It's no
Aye.
fucking easy being a musician.
No, and if if you don't know the right people, you're fucked.
Yeah.
End of. It's very cliché, but that's what it is.
I think you just need to have the kind of the balls and the kind of clear mind to just kind of push through and just you push through
I
the bullshit and do your own stuff.
You need a thick skin. Just don't listen to what anybody says and do your own thing.
Yeah.
Fuck it. If somebody's going to say something bad about you, then just in one ear out the other. Fuck it. You just go
So
on it. If you like it, then just keep doing it.
so obviously that's new EP. When did you say that was it? 31st of May?
31st of May, and we've got the showcase at HMV in Air on the 1st of June. So it's out on the Friday, 1st of June, the Saturday gig, just to promote it and play
Is
it and
that
get some in it.
is that on physical release and digital?
One CD, aye. I'm not at the vinyl stage yet.
And is there any links or anything? Is there like pre-save links or anything you want me to share for that?
We're not out yet. We're starting sending out the press release. We've done the artwork yesterday. That's it, just to be touched up a bit, and then we're ready to go. So that'll give us a good 2 months to push that.
Brilliant. And what's the
I
name
mean,
of that EP, just so that we can
it's
highlight it
called
on
the
the show?
Dreamer EP,
Sorry, say that again because we missed a bit of that.
the Big Time Dreamer
The Big
EP.
Time Dreamer. Brilliant.
We call it the Small Town Dealer, but I wanted to call it the Small Town Dealer, but on the song it says Small Town Dealer, Big Time Dreamer, so we could have picked any of them, but I get voted.
You probably get in trouble for that somehow, like fucking offensive
That's it.
fucking speech or something like that.
You talking about a dealer? I know, it's fucking stupid. You can't say nothing now, can't you know?
No, especially I mean this weekend it's Celtic Rangers, man. They're going to be half the country's going to be locked up by the end of the weekend with this. You're not allowed to speak anywhere.
Same. Even that's not the same. I don't watch football anymore, but you've got Celtic fans on there allowed in Ibrox and Rangers fans on there allowed in Parkhead anymore, so there's absolutely no atmosphere.
No, it's horrible, man. It kind of devalues it for me.
Hours ruined the full game. I mean, you're feeling as if you're watching a Scottish game. It's slow enough as it is, and you're feeling as if you're watching days.
So the last part of the podcast, as I say, I didn't want to keep you too long, but we've kind of touched on all the points that I wanted to touch on anyway. The podcast called Time for Heroes, after the
Nice.
Libertines, obviously. And I asked my guests to pick 4 heroes to come for dinner, why they're your heroes, and what would you cook them, just to see how good a cook you are. I'd imagine with the Nick you're in the day, you might just be phoning in a takeaway or something, but
I mean, I like to cook. I like cooking. But I think my limit's like spaghetti bolognese, mince and tatties, that kind of shit, macaroni, pasta.
That's all quality though. That's all the meals that people grew up with.
Aye, definitely, man. Definitely. Mince and tatties, loads of tomato sauce and pepper. Can't beat it.
My mates, when I was at work, I mind taking in shepherd's pie, homemade shepherd's pie or something one day, and I put vinegar on it, like vinegar into the top of the mash, and everybody thought it was fucking disgusting. I thought that's fucking perfect. You put vinegar on your chips, so what's the difference on mash?
I don't know. I've never put vinegar on my mash, to be honest.
Well, try it, mate. Don't knock it until you've tried it.
Do you enjoy it?
I loved that, man.
You go, man. That sort of things you made. Make it you.
Aye, so aye, 4 heroes. Who you bring to dinner and why?
Can they be alive?
They can be dead or alive. They can be musicians. They can be whatever you want. Footballers, sportsmen, whatever.
Well, one would have to be John Lennon because he was so outspoken, and I would like to hear what he thinks about the world and these days. I think that'd be very interesting. That dinner.
I think he'd have a lot to say about the state of the place now.
I may as well. I know. And we're needing more people to speak up to because nobody speaks up in music. It's like everybody's too scared to say shit.
Yeah.
It's mad. Next would have to be David Bowie. I don't know what to expect. I grew up listening to him. My dad loves him, and I would just have to say I'd had dinner with David Bowie. And then Johnny Rotten, he'd be coming for a dinner. Five of Joe Strummer, and one more, Lee Mavers, just to see what he's doing with himself. Why is he racing away? Get some music made.
They're brilliant. I've had, obviously, your first two picks, John Lennon and David Bowie. So this is me on the second season of the podcast, and the first season, everybody just picked John Lennon and David Bowie. And
they're fair of gods, why not?
But this season, it's been quite kind of. They've not been picked very often, to be fair. So you might be like the first one to pick both of them for a good while. Johnny Rotten's never been picked. I wonder what a dinner party would be like with somebody like him there. I can't descend into absolute chaos.
I know, that's why I'd want him. That's why I want him along, just for a chaotic dinner.
And Lee Mavers as well would be cracking. Obviously, I had John Power on the podcast not long ago.
I love John Power. Of cast.
So I mean, he still speaks highly of Lee as well. So, and obviously he worked. Did they know do something with Pete Doherty at some point? There was talking of bringing out an album.
I'm not sure, to be honest. See, to be honest, I mean, I've got all my influences behind me, and now that I'm that invested in doing my own stuff, I just don't really have time to listen to much music. So I listen to the bands when I'm playing gigs with them and see what the bands are kicking about, but I just stick the same old. I mean, I forgot to put the Red Walls in as well. If you've not heard them, you need to get onto them. They're fucking brilliant.
Say that again. Who are they?
The Red Walls. They're from Chicago. They're bringing out their third album just soon because they've started promoting it, but it just says coming soon. But check them out, mate. They're so good.
I'll have a listen for them. But I've never heard them, but I'll definitely check them out.
They were supporting Oasis at Hampden.
Right.
So that was the first one I seen them. Went with my mum. Mum was like, halfway line. Like, no chance. Next minute I see my wee brother getting lifted out with no shoes on and shit. Secure. So, aye.
That's a cracking bunch of guests. I'll let you have the Red Walls as well. You can bring them along as well.
Aye, I hanged them on Instagram. I've been annoying them on Instagram because if they come to Britain, I want to support them. That would make it all done.
Brilliant.
But we want on that too. We want to go on and support somebody as big as that. So I'm gonna keep pushing.
On that, then, obviously being on the Oasis fan, just before we go, who do you favour there? If you to pick one, who would it be? Noel or Liam?
I don't. Music wise, no, I'm not a fan of Liam's new album with John Squire. I think it's lyrically poor, and it just sounds like a bunch of demos, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. Liam for his attitude and Noel for the music.
Yeah.
So, better.
Any opinions, actually, again, touching then on Liam and John Squire? Obviously played the Barrowlands a few weeks back now. £75 a ticket. And
fuck that.
£75 a ticket at the Barrowlands, which is probably about double what I've ever paid at the Barrowlands, and they played a 49-minute set.
And get a grip, lads. What he's doing, man.
And as far as I'm aware as well, I'm sure there was people locked out as well, people still queuing up that couldn't get in as well. So
they've paid all that and never get in.
Aye, so I think that's fucking very poor. But the prices they seem to be going up for these gigs as well.
The prices are going up for everything. The place is fucked. I know. Even for fags or your booze or your train or your bus, everything's gone up, and they're not going to stop.
Well, this is the thing, and with things like that, like when they put things up, obviously they put the gas and the electricity up, and now they're saying, right, it's going to come down, but it won't come down because people are used to paying that price, so they'll just fucking keep.
They'll get people feed you with a lot of shite and probably even put it up more.
Yeah, and then that's the same. That'll be the same for tickets. So with them charging £75 at the Barrowlands, you'll start to see more bands charging that.
Aye, definitely. If they can get away with it, they'll do it. But I just think it's wrong. I'd be sneaking.
And that's why you're better. I think I'm always pushing for people to come and see grassroots bands like yourselves, people that are just coming up, because you've got better value for money going to see 5 gigs at a tenner a pop than you will going to see one at 50 quid. But
Aye, definitely. I wouldn't pay the prices to go and see a big.
Yeah.
So you're going to see new stuff that you've not heard before at these wee gigs. I mean, not everybody's going to be your cup of tea, but I mean, maybe 2 to 5 bands you're going to like. So it's new music, and then you know, as you said, you're not paying 50 to 70 quid for a ticket. That's disgusting, I think.
Yeah. I think we'll wrap up here, but it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Really looking forward to hearing the new EP.
Mate. Aye. So
Really
thank you much for having us, man.
A wee bit of a delay here as well. But hopefully Libertines, we'll get this Libertines support in October. Fingers crossed for that.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully, we can only keep trying. So that's what we'll do.
But absolute pleasure having you on. I'll post all your links and all that in the show notes, and we'll get the podcast out shortly. But thanks for coming on, Gary.
Thanks very much, mate. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Cheers, mate. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Time for Heroes podcast. If you would like to get in touch, the best way is on the Facebook page, Time for Heroes podcast, or on Instagram at Time for Heroes podcast, or Twitter at Time for Heroes P1, or drop me an email at timeforheroespod@gmail.com. You'll find Time for Heroes on all podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple, Google and Amazon. Please leave a review where you can, share with others, and more importantly, enjoy.